She has words, everything Icelandic, on her business cards. She has spent the last 15 years volunteering her time to help people learn more about Iceland and to work on a variety of projects, events, and charitable activities. She became a director with the INLNA, the USA representative for the INL of Iceland in 2010, and became our president in 2016, and of course now will become the past president. Sunna founded Icelandic Roots, nonprofit genealogy and history organization in 2013. She has been instrumental in countless projects throughout North America and Iceland, and we're very proud of this lady. We want to thank her.
You promise not to cry this time. So I am here today to bring you a presentation called The Road Ahead. And what it is what are we working on through the Icelandic National League of North America, and to talk about the tour in 2019. Now, when you hear the words, the road ahead, it can mean many things to many people. And to me, I always think about my 8 little grandkids and the road ahead for them, and where they're going, and am I doing a good enough job teaching them about being Icelandic? So that's what the road ahead means to me. And as a heritage organization, we tend to think about the past, but I am trying to encourage you guys all to think about the future and the road ahead. So slide number 2 is, I want you to look at this map. I alluded to it in my presentation during the AEM. The green dots are the INLNA member clubs. You can see down in the middle of the US, Utah, and then out to the side is Washington, DC. And we have the Minnesota organization and the North Dakota, which is kind of hidden. And then there's also a yellow dot at Fargo, North Dakota, and there's a yellow dot hiding behind in Minnesota, which is the Icelandic Hekla Club. They were grandfathered in as, now I forget, there's one that's called an associate and one that's an affiliate. The one affiliate is in yellow, and they were grandfathered in as members. The red are the associate members, which would be the up in with UNORM and all of the different organizations that have paid $100 to be a member of the Icelandic National League of North America, such as Icelandic Roots. And in Nova Scotia, the Friends of in Nova Scotia are also a $100 member. So according to writings in the July 1911 issue of the Loper, they were talking about forming our group in 1911. And they said in the article that they thought we could have a membership of 16,000 people. Well, it's 4 generations later, 3 or 4, and today we have 2,278. After all these generations and more babies being born to these members who said we could have 16,000. So that is just over 1% of the Icelanders in North America. So slide number 3, they called at the time for multiculturalism and supporting distinct ethnic group of Iceland within the Canadian society in the land of Leifur and Thorfinnur. I just love how reading the old Logbergs, I really enjoy that, and I wish that the Icelandic language, we could just use the language of like 1880. I think I'd do a lot better. And today we're still celebrating this Icelandic heritage and culture and preserving it and teaching our young people, but we do need to do more and keep going. This next slide. Now, don't start the video yet. My 8-year-old granddaughter made this movie. So she's not a professional. She's just 8 years old. But she thought it would be kind of fun to make this movie. And yes, they talk about Vikings and Folk and volcanoes and having an Amma and going to Iceland and pannukakers. But Peyton asked the best question at the end. And so I'd just like to run this. It's 50 seconds, so it's just a short little video that she made.
Is there any volume?
Yeah, there'll be a sound to it, so he'll fix it in a second. You can switch to that video on the inside if you want. Okay. So he'll look in my file and just run the other one.
My ancestors lived in Iceland. I want to go to Iceland. I want to go to Iceland. I want to see a volcano. Golden Dragon! Oh, the boat. I believe. I was the best. I'm a permanent cooker. You can wobble off the volcano. Maybe they came on the boat from Norway. Because we're Vikings. I want to see a volcano. Tell your kids about Iceland. Other people didn't know that they were Icelandic.
So what if people don't know that they're Icelandic? What if that 99% of the people that are in North America, they don't know that they're Icelandic? And there's many that don't. And we have discovered that over and over and over and over again. People will contact us and say, I think that I'm Icelandic, or maybe I'm Irish. It says in the census record that they came from Ireland and that they speak Irish, but really it was a misspelling in the census record. So there's a lot of people that we can reach, so just keep talking about it and tell people about it. So these are all the projects that we have with the Icelandic National League of North America, and maybe I missed a couple, but these are the main ones that we're working on. And so if you see something on this list that you like, just contact Bev or Holly or me or Glenn or anybody that's on the board so that you can get involved too. Just because you're not on the board, doesn't mean you can't take part in one of the volunteer committees. And so if you have any questions about that, we'll talk about that. And then just my last thing is the 2019 tour to Iceland. I did bring a lot of brochures and I don't want to bring them home. So would everybody please pick them up back there? Erin has a whole bunch of them and there's more under the table. So if you want to bring 50 for your club, please do so I don't have to bring them home. And so I was going to bring one up here with me. Bring me one. All right. So the proposed dates are August 14th through the 26th. Next year in 2019, it celebrates the Icelandic National League's 100-year celebration. And it's a special tour to Iceland put on by Kent Laura Stjornsson, will be the main tour guide organizing everything. It's open to everyone. So if you have some friends that would like to go, they can certainly sign up. We've been researching a lot what the other tour guides are charging for this exact tour. And it's about double of what Kent is going to charge. He's not going to charge any extra. He's finding all kinds of special deals for us and talking to people about these Western Icelanders coming. And it goes all the way around Iceland, Thingvellir, Gulf Coast, Acer, South Coast, the East Coast, up to Eilstaðir, Vatnafjörður, Mývatn, Húsvík, Akureyri, Siglufjörður, Foxhólsfjörður, Glamberg, Eiríksstaðir, Stykkishólmur, Snæfellsnes. I mean, it's a huge, like, zoom, fast tour. It's like the highlights of the movies. So, and then we'll end on day 11 is the Reykjavik Menningarmót, the culture night, and the marathon. So if you want to get in shape, you can start now. And run in the marathon, or they have a walking part too. And then day 12 is the Icelandic National League of Iceland's conference. And that is on a Sunday afternoon. And it's usually from about 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then Kent is going to offer a optional Blue Lagoon tour for people who are interested. All accommodations, 12 nights, 9 breakfasts, lunch and dinners, coach bus, entrances to museums and exhibits, optional activities, and CAD is 3,135 estimated with a shared bath, and 4,100 for private bathrooms. And there's a special email that's on here. If you're interested, you put your name on this email, send your name to this email, and you'll be put on the list. And is there any questions? Yes, hold on. Matt will bring you the microphone. Hold on one sec. Go ahead. Sure.
I want to get on that.
Yes, so if you wanted to go early and do something on your own, or you wanted to stay late and, you know, visit with people or do your own thing afterwards, it's your own airfare there and back. So you would just be emailing with Kent or working with me about what day you'll arrive and where we can find you, so that we can start on that day 1 tour. We're gonna hit the ground running because there's gonna be a lot that we're going to do. And so yes, anytime however long you want to be there. Any other questions? Any questions about any of these things on the list up there? Well, if you do, you can just email us or call or Facebook or text, or all of those things will work. And is there another slide at the end? Yes. Okay, there we go. So the road ahead. Pass the stories on to the next generations, and working with INL Iceland snoring programs and forging ahead with new and innovative ideas. Take the road to Winnipeg next year for the 100-year convention, and then the road ahead to Iceland in the fall, and then the road to Gimli for the 101st convention. So this is all great. And if you're thinking about where's the convention after Gimli, the 101st, just raise your hand. All right, here we go. So thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
I don't know.
Great job, Sunna. Let's give her a real nice round of applause for our unbelievable effort. So folks, it's a little break time here. We're gonna